If you've hired someone in the past few years, you've probably experienced it. A promising candidate applies. You do the interview. It goes well. Maybe they even accept the job and then they disappear. Maybe they disappeared after you first talked to them. No call, no email, just silence. In today's conversation, we're digging into why your promising job applicants might ghost you and what the data says you should do differently to attract, engage, and actually keep that potential top talent you've been looking for. It's my pleasure to welcome back Wells to the program. It's our second episode, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jeff, I'm so glad to be here again, second time.
second time.
Yeah.
And this topic today is very interesting. I know this term ghosting can apply across the board. I believe we're going to cover all aspects of trying to hire an applicant, looking at all those applications and drawing in the right people without them leaving a trail of nothing behind. So let's start with that. Talk about ghosting in general, what you're seeing out there, and what you think we can do about it.
Ghosting is, as you said, Jeff, is extensive. So we know by average is about 40 to 50% of applicants ghost us, the cleaning companies. And so for some companies can reach 80%. So this is a very, very severe problem for us. And we also know that ghosting is driven by basically two big areas. One is that how we recruit. The other one is what is our job? Because if we recruit incorrectly or not optimized, then we may encourage that or have what I call, we may have more problems. But also fundamentally is that our job itself is also vital in this conversation. If we have a job that is weak, low pay, and schedule is everywhere, and benefit is weak, no growth potential, yes, we are going to a weak job or a bad job will invite more ghosting.
I have to think that if you're ghosted at the beginning of the process, that's not as painful as you are ready to offer them the position and all of a sudden they're gone.
Jeff, I'm so glad you mentioned this in this angle. And what we see is that there's a good ghosting, there's a bad ghosting for us, for the cleaning companies. So let me elaborate what is good ghosting and what are the ones are the bad ones. So good ghosting to us is we welcome that, by the way. We welcome good ghosting. These are the ghosting happened in the earliest stage of the application process. So we can actually we prefer to rule them out because they are not serious, they are not engaged. By the way, today we have something called a lazy apply. One click, you can apply anywhere from 15, which is the lowest membership, to 1,500 jobs by one click. Within a day, they will apply all the job for you. So therefore, we actually want to ghosting happen early on so that we can root these people out. Now, when we truly invest our time evaluating and we believe the other side have good qualification, when that ghosting is happening, we call that the bad ghosting. So that's exactly what you inferred to earlier, Jeff.
What a shame to be so close and then lose someone. So, on average, Wells, at what point in the hiring process are employers most likely to lose their candidates, those opportunities? Are most lost at the beginning, middle, or the end?
So we have been looking at all our subscribers' data in their last 3 years of recruiting. So we commonly see that a lot of people dropping out in the first 1 to 4 weeks after hiring. That is, they are all literally, in my definition, that's bad ghosting. Why? Because you not only engage through the process, you spend the time go through the hiring process, then they start the training, okay, then they drop out. So we see a loss of that. So therefore, we believe that this is a strong indication that the recruiting process is have some major problems because we prefer to front load these ghosting. As I said earlier to you, we actually happy to see people ghost at the
Sure.
earlier stage when we not spend a lot of time with them. So therefore, we want to front load that because it is literally saving time for both, number one. Number two will be save our time and money
Hmm.
for the cleaning companies.
Okay, so we're going to take that good ghosting and put it aside. Let's focus for the rest of our episode. One last question for you. The bad ghosting that hurts. How can we use AI and techniques that you believe in to reduce that or maybe eliminate it altogether? Are there some ideas there?
Great. So if we did a great job, sorry, I have to mention the bad ghosting. If we get them out, then you are going to get people better place in terms of minimize that so-called bad. The if we handle the good ghosting well, the bad ghosting should be minimized. Number one. Number two, we talk about our communication process during the recruiting. We always advocate about this 50 and 50, what we call advocacy, because our job is not a conventionally sexy job. So along the way, we have to advocate for our job to the applicants, and we need to be conscientiously advocate based on what they need for this job. To a student, we should advocate we are flexible with your schedule. To someone cleaning for a while, we should advocate about our growth potential. So we should advocate based on segment. On the other hand of this advocacy, also important, another important critical component, that is what we call disclosure. We give them the advantage, the benefit of the job, but we also honestly disclose the challenges, the parking, the travel, the night shift potentially. And then we always offer solution as well. Whenever we mention about the challenge, we give a solution. So we want to assure the other side we are honest. We also work hard to resolve, to support our cleaners. So that's one big piece. The second piece is really about job design. To minimize that, we have to be proud of our job. We have to imagine from their perspective, when they look at Amazon, okay, average 20 some dollars per hour, and then they immediately benefits start immediately from day one. Okay, all these things we have to really thinking about what we are offering, what the job we are offering. How can we maximize our advantage of a cleaning job while minimize the potential disadvantage of the job? So therefore, I would say that we should focus on the recruiting process, the job. A bad job will never get good applicants, get good result. We have to design a job attractively, and then finally, data will help us to make a better hire, and in that process. So therefore, AI can really give us the powerful insights give us a strong push towards the direction of better hire.
That sounds like a lot of work, but it ends in good results, but a lot of education. You're
Yes,
really helping them see the big picture of what opportunity is in front of them.
yes,
Hmm.
yes, that's very, very true. So these components, as we talk about, is the strategy of the pipeline, get the good ghost out early on, then communicate through the application process to advocate our job. That means benefit and honestly disclosure of challenges with solutions, and then the job design. By the end of the day, the job has to be an attractive job.
It does. So everyone watching the program, no Amazon, stick with the cleaning industry.
Yes, yes. We got to be competitive in our own way.
Absolutely. Wells,
Yeah.
thank you for this. I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you so much, Jeff.